Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew Wild Run. Driving all cars part number 36. The 2004 Dodge Ram SRT-10. The hood says Viper, so I mentioned this before. I'm not 100% sure on all the engine sizes and stuff like that, but I am assuming it's using the V10 from the Viper, which 2004, that probably will be a 8 liter. 500 brake horsepower it has, and it also, seen we are outside, it also has a couple of specs. We are close here to the Monster Arena in the Mountain States, so let's start with the extreme spec. Doesn't have a drift spec, of course, being an SUV. It also doesn't have a drag spec, but it does have a monster spec. It's pretty small size wise, and also not that long compared to other monster specs, so it might be a good one. Landings, okay. Backflip, bit okay, pretty quick. 360, a bit of bumpy, but well, might have not enough speed. Backflip with a 180, not a problem. It does seem to lack a bit of speed though, or acceleration, one of the two. Might be solved by putting this thing full acceleration, as I sometimes do. Most of my cars in the video that I test here are full speed, except for the drag cars, and then I mentioned that in the videos that I recorded earlier. Don't have any more drag specs to test. Most of them are full grip, a few full acceleration, and one full speed, I believe. That has been tested before for drag ranking, and I would have mentioned that in those videos. Other than that, all my cars are full speed, give or take a couple of monster specs. Sometimes it is more interesting to put them full acceleration, not necessarily for monster arenas, but it might help you in the scramble tests. You can put them full speed, but sometimes full acceleration gives you more points. Kinda depends on how twisty the track is that you have to do. Other than that, it sort of does the same combos like I would do with my Abarth here, which I normally use in this arena. Let's see if it can do the 720. Pretty easy, and some airtime left to make the landing work and get a perfect landing. The only problem you might encounter using this thing in this arena is it probably won't make the jump towards the 5,000 points all the way on top there. The Viper, no, not the Viper, the Skyline does that kinda okay, and the Abarth does that pretty easily, makes it every time. With the other cars you have to time it and get the nitro right, and some don't even make it. And this probably will be one of those that doesn't really make it. Seems to lack something. Is it speed? Is it acceleration? I don't know. That it does lack. But seeing it's pretty small for a monster truck, yeah, not bad. It does the combos pretty easily. It does the landings perfect. So maybe not for this arena, but it can be used for other arenas. This thing also has the 5 normal specs, being street, dirt, perfect or performance, and rate and circuit. So 5 specs that we have to test here on the mile drag. For starters, acceleration test, 1 mile drag, hit the nitro bar and use a full nitro bar at the first checkpoint, which is the quarter mile. Can immediately start seeing we saw the full stock, which was the white car in the beginning. I already switched to the street spec, so we can immediately do the acceleration tests. Street spec, we are talking 125 second cars being the Skyline, quite a lot 26 and 27 second cars. So somewhere in that region. Wheel spin in first gear, wheel spin in second gear, that's gonna cost us time. Six gears in street spec already. Over 300 kilometers an hour. That might suggest a good top speed. Acceleration wise, not that good. 26.8 for street spec, that's close to 27, which are the lower times in street. The faster times are 26 low or 25 high. So average, below average for street. That's what we have just kind of saw here. Taking the dirt spec, a different tint of grey color, but as always, official colors, official rims on my cars, and there were 2 or 3 grey tints for this one, I believe. One being a bit darker than the other, I guess. Dirt spec, 26, 27. We got 128.4 for the Silverado. That was the slowest. We'll see. $28.554. I'm checking the Silverado. 28.4. Yeah, this is the slowest dirt spec acceleration the test we did here, and we've done 14 or 15 dirt specs already. So no. Below average in street spec. The slowest in dirt spec, at least so far. So I'm starting to get the feeling that acceleration might be a minus, and that will also be probably which was lacking in the monster spec. We, by the sound of it, also dealing with wheel spin in the performance spec, so it's gonna cost us time again. Fastest time here, performance 22.8, the Vanquish. Slowest time, Eldorado 25.2. Most of the faster specs 23 seconds, the slower specs 24 seconds. So, okay, 24.0. That's average or below average again, just like the street spec. So it's starting to come back here. By the looks of it. 3 cars with average or below average, or even bad for the dirt. We'll see. Rate and circuit to go, but probably will be confirmed, which makes us already find a minus for this car, being acceleration. Although this seemed to be okay, but we'll see. Fastest time here in rate is 29.9 for Camaro 69 and Silverado. Both of them did that. We got a few 30.1s and 30.2s. Slowest the buggy with 31 seconds. 30.2. Okay. That is kinda above average. If you compare it to the Mustang, for instance. Why to the Mustang? Considered one of the better specs in rate, 30.6. This one 30.2. So the rate spec does have a bit of acceleration. The other specs not really. Circuit 22.0 for the bike, and a few 22 second cars here. Another pickup Silverado 22.3. To compare it with that, seeing that's also a pickup. Haven't tested the Ford Raptor yet, so that's for later. I've done the cars that had the drag spec, so I'm sort of back to the alphabetic order now. We've done Chevrolet in the past videos, and we are moving to Dodge now. We've done the Charger, and now the Ram. 23.5 is well, somewhere in the middle again. So wheel spin also seemed to be the problem here. The weight is not as light as it is, and then with the body kit probably giving it a bit more weight. So no. Average acceleration, one exception being the rate, but other than that acceleration is a minus for this car. Let's see how it handles. So we start again with the street spec, as we always do. Sort of step by step. And we are facing the wrong direction. Can happen sometimes. Really have to zoom in close enough to make sure you're on the right side of the road if you fast travel. Otherwise your nose always in the right or in the wrong direction. It can take a hit, that's kind of normal, seeing the weight, and the response was also pretty okay. Brakes on the other hand, well, somehow we made the corner, but could have been smoother. Okay, I might have to come back to the response. Was a bit too late there. Here you see and feel the slow acceleration from the street spec. Wheel spin, sliding, and then you come out of the corner and you're kind of missing power. Although it has the power, but can't put it on the road. We are kinda okay going through the corners, but yeah, seeing it's lacking acceleration compared to other street specs, we are also not going that fast. So I don't know. We'll have to see with the other specs, but on the looks here, handling is not that good. Feels pretty heavy. We have tested heavier cars already, and they some of them felt lighter or easier to handle, which not this really feels heavy. Meanwhile, we are going towards 300 kilometers an hour, so probably as usually it is with the more heavy cars and kind of boat handling, they usually have a decent top speed. So that probably here will be the same. 350, 360 we are reaching again, which is good on this section for a street spec, so top speed will probably be a plus for this car. But yeah, you have to come through the corners and accelerate out of the corners, and that's where it has a problem. Handling not that good, and acceleration also not that good. So in street spec you probably better not use it, unless we are dealing with long straights on a certain track. Seeing it has a top speed, it might keep up, but I doubt it. Because at some point you will come across some corners, and then the rest of the lot is gone. So street spec, no, not going to be the best use. So performance, same track, do performance a bit faster probably. And here we go again. 70 plus performance cars at 12.99, and then you have to go sometimes all the way down to find some. I'm not spending that much time in normal PvP, which means I don't have to downgrade cars at this moment. Which you can do, for those who don't know that. You can take one or two parts out or put a lower level in that. Gives you a 1297, 1294 score or something. and the highest spec always come on top of the list, so you can sort of filter your favorites to the top of the list so that you can easily find them with the 10 or 15 seconds that you have in PvP to find a car before the race. If you have to go through your list with 75 cars, you need to be lucky sometimes to find it in time, the one that you want. Gonna give it a go here with the cockpit view, which is kind of okay. Lots of dials and numbers. Because yeah, you see it slide, you see me sort of fighting with this car, and that might be fun, but it's not helping you for summit events, time attacks, things like that. So the handling is not really okay either. So handling acceleration minus again, seems to be coming back from the street spec, which probably means it will have top speed as well. We're in a performance spec, so we are looking for somewhere around 400 kilometers an hour, going downhill after the 2 jumps that are coming up. The S corner kinda okay, that went through there. We'll see. .340 already, and we still have the big jump here to come. Going towards 380, yeah. We're going to be close to 400. 404, so top speed again pretty good here in performance. Okay, and apparently you can dive with it through cars till one decides to take a left on you just before you arrive. Which is a pretty heavy pickup going into a little city car, and that apparently was a problem, slowed down quite a lot. So it might not be that solid either, but no. Might have some fun with it in free drive, just like we did with the Charger, but also performance maybe for a speed trap. Yeah, but well, I'm not going to recommend it as best use. Circuit spec. Okay, here we go again. Not 70 plus, but still a couple of 20, 30, 40, I don't know, circuit specs. Also, that one you have to find on the longer list, let's put it that way. Circuit spec, at least most of them have 7 gears. This one should have as well, I guess. I think every circuit spec in this game has 7 gears, which makes it a bit shorter gear ratio, and that should help you in acceleration, although it was only average tested on the mile drag there. Okay. It has the weight, but always with the performance spec, hitting that small car also kind of slows us down. Okay, this was a frontal hit, but still it's an SUV against the car, although it was a station wagon, but or an estate, as they say in the States, but I don't know. Although it has the weight, it doesn't seem to take a hit that well. So you probably have to dodge traffic instead of hitting it. Seems to be a Dutch thing, which is kind of coming back here. That with Charger 69 we had the same thing going, and resulting in that the circuit spec is probably the best for the normal specs. Or 15 something. So the top speed okay as well for this one, and the circuit spec kind of feeling the best in handling compared to street and performance. So the same like the Charger 1969, and I think I mentioned in that video, it can be used on something like ovals. Going around and around, and top speed it has, so might work there. But yeah, for time attacks and stuff, we're not often doing ovals, are we? Occasionally a speed trap might be in one of those ovals, but that's not enough to recommend it as best use. The dirt is also not going to be the best use, and I already can stop this video here for a second, because I already know that I'm going to end up in that black screen situation thing again. So I had to reboot and went on with the second video. Sometimes happens if you go too fast from one free drive challenge to another, and then sort of get stuck in the loading screen. The dirt being the slowest in acceleration, well, can't expect much of it, so already can tell you that right now this is also not going to be the best use. So our hopes are set on the next car being the rate, but we'll have a look on this one first. .300 plus already, so also this one has top speed, coming back with all the specs, top speed. Okay. So it's a pretty easy jump. And I almost lost it there. It slides about as well, and yeah, you can see it and you can feel it. Acceleration is really bad. It was the worst we tested on the mild drag, and yeah, it's once you get to the top speed, it will be okay, but it takes a while before you get there. .80 kilometers an hour coming out of that corner, and no acceleration. Yeah. So it's another one where you have to spam the NOS in the nitro very often in a run like this, and in races and stuff like that. At least we're getting the checkbot by not going through them close enough, I guess. It really gives you sort of the feeling, if you look at this car run. Call a few friends and ask them to help you, to give a little push or something. I don't know. The speed is okay once you get there, but it takes so long before you get there, so acceleration is definitely a problem for this car. And also the handling in general. So we're coming back with all the specs. Handling wise, the best probably be the circuit spec. Street performance, circuit and dirt that we've done so far, and none of them are best use. So they can't really be used in time attacks and speed traps, and speed traps maybe with some slipstream with a couple of friends. Seeing it has top speed, might be able to use it here or there. But even if we would be restricted to, let's say, pickups, yeah, then you're gonna get a higher speed with the Raptor. So no, also dirt not not the best use. We'll see about raid, but if we can't find a few positive sides on the raid spec to use at some of the events, then we are probably going to end up with the monster spec being the best use. Although that lacks also probably some acceleration. Acceleration or speed, maybe a bit of both, but seeing acceleration is something most of these specs for this car lack. That will probably also be the case for the monster. Was pretty good on landings and pretty good on combos, seeing it was the first car we tested, but it was lacking something, and that probably, seeing we have done the other specs now, kinda already know this thing has a bad acceleration, so also the monster spec. But you might be able to help that to go full acceleration. I've been pressing the nitro quite a lot on this run and resulting in a 5:14. We are going under 5 minutes here with better dirt specs, so or with the best dirt specs. Nope. Also on this run probably one of the slowest we tested, just like on the acceleration. So the dirt is not that good. So our hopes are set on the rate. We know it has a pretty decent acceleration. The only spec which kinda has a good acceleration. Hello, 242. You gotta be kidding me. 255 something. What do you know? Doesn't have a bad top speed, but well, the one thing it had going for him was top speed in the other specs. And I'm using quite some nitro here to get to 250, which is a speed that the better the rate specs can get without nitro. $256 really. Okay. Some rate specs can do 270 and even higher with slipstream. I'm not so sure about this one. Seems to, I don't know. Has a bit of a problem in 5th gear. Being a pickup it is kind of stable at first go, but yeah. We kinda done the easy part of the track. Let's see how it handles the bigger jumps and jump combinations. Kinda okay so far. Pretty smooth all in all, just sorry. We are losing a bit of speed every time we land one of those jumps. You will always lose speed, but a bit too much with this one, it seems. Okay, woo. That was only a little rock that we hit, and I don't know. Eventually it came back on the four wheels, but seems to have a problem. We'll see further on, but I think this was one of those cars that might flip over on you and activate crash cam and things like that. So, pretty good on top speed for most specs, but apparently not really on the rate spec, and it might flip over. So also the rate spec not going to be the best use. It's pretty okay though, so far. Okay. Let me reconsider that. Just a small rock and it was on its side. Bit more speed there and you might probably activate the crash cam. To 40 something if we're not touching the nitro, so I don't know. Yeah, this is bad news. Yep. Crash cam activation. You might be able to use it, it's not that wide, so if you need a small rate spec to go through woods or something, might be an option. But to call it best use, not really. So, well, we have done all the specs, and overall it is an average car or below average. It has top speed as a plus, I would say. Acceleration and handling kind of a minus. So best use, I don't know. I would say go for the monster spec, although also that one is missing a bit. Circuit spec maybe on ovals. Monster spec can be used. Other than that, I don't really see it happening for this car in any of the other specs. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.